Hi, I'm Jess. First, thanks for watching. It has been way too long since I last uploaded a video. Between full-time work as a real estate agent and 3 kids, life has just been crazy, so I haven't really had much time to craft or do anything, in this realm at all. So hoping to get back into it, and I'm going to start by uploading a casting powder video today. I've been extremely curious about it. So I have some things here. I have this magic pour kit. Casting powder is non-toxic, odorless, and fast curing, which is what's drawn me to it over epoxy resin, which I have experience with, but I have stopped using just because of the mess and kids and all that comes with it. This kit, I'll open up with you guys and show you everything that's inside, but I also ordered separately, excuse the noise, these silicone molds. So you have 2 different size like bubbles here for like trays that you can use. And I ordered this crushed glass multicolor, and I will link all of these in the comments as well, or my caption. So let's go ahead. I'm going to open up this Let's Resin Magic Pour Kit. All right, so again, I am opening this up with you guys. I have never done this before. Just gonna go ahead and get everything out. So the first thing we have here is the Magic Pour powder, and you'll see here, which we will soon explore, powder to water ratio is 3:1 by weights. So I have a scale ready to go as well. You've got some measuring cups. You have a couple silicone molds in here as well, which I expected, but wanted to check out some of those bubble ones also. I do also have a ton of old molds from when I used to use epoxy resin as well. So this is like a little dish, 3 different size dishes really. And here we have some different pigments. So acrylic paints are coloring this casting powder. So you see you've got a ton of colors here. A little spatula, a Magic Pour user manual, and this is sanding paper to sand once cured. All right, so once you have all of your materials, which includes your scale, you are going to first start with putting your powder in a cup and your water in a separate cup. So because of the mold that I'm using, I'm going to go ahead and use 200 grams. Well, that was actually my initial thought, but once I put 200 grams in the cup, it felt like it was too much. Again, remember, this is my first time doing this, and so I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I was worried that the 200 grams with the 67 grams of water was just not going to work in the cup. So I actually ended up pouring some out and decided that I was going to do 150 grams. So after pouring that in, I just double check on my scale that I have 150 grams of powder. And then because the ratio of powder to water is 3:1, I needed 50 grams of water. So you'll see that I'm pouring that here. And so once you have that done, you really just are going to pour your water into your powder and mix it. Now the directions say to mix quickly for 30 seconds around the sides and the bottom. And I was really surprised. Like this, the powder, I expected it to like rise and it really shrunk a lot. So I probably would have been okay with the 200 grams, but it worked out fine, and you'll see that it actually ends up being the perfect amount for this mold that I ended up using. So I'm just kind of scraping around the sides at the bottom. During mixing, I noticed that like certain spots started to feel a little bit thicker, others were thinner, so I just was trying to mix it as much as possible. And then I just dropped in 2 small drops of the purple pigment, which in the end, once cured, you really couldn't even see it, and you really could barely see it when I was mixing it either. So I definitely will try to add in more of the acrylic paint next time to bring that up. Excuse the camera here. There's a lot going on. All right, so after just mixing that one more time, because I had set it down for a second, I just went ahead and poured it straight into my mold. And it really poured pretty easily. I expected it to be a little bit thicker, but really it was pretty thin, kind of like epoxy resin would be, but it's of course not clear. And what I love about it is that there's no odor, it's not sticky or messy, and it's pretty amazing. You can just rinse the cups out afterwards and reuse all of your materials instead of needing, either to scrape out cured resin or, just getting new stuff every time, like with epoxy resin. So you'll see here that I'm just kind of showing you it's pretty filled to the top there, just a little bit of lip. But that 150 grams for this specific mold ended up being really the perfect amount. So then you're just going to go ahead and let that sit for 30 minutes. Okay, so we are now at 20 minutes. The manual says to wait 30 minutes before demolding. So I'm going to leave it in here, but I just wanted to kind of show you the progress. It's definitely solidified. I can move this mold, as you can see, maybe a little early. That little piece chipped off there. But you can see that it's pretty solid. Let's see what the opposite side looks like. There are my little pieces, my glass pieces. So I'm going to check back in 10 minutes and see how it looks with demolding. All right, so it's been about 30 minutes. You can see this is pretty firm and solid. And I'm going to go ahead and demold her. Feels like it's still like a tiny bit soft. So I don't want to push too hard, of course. Just kind of loosening each of the ends and edges. And there she is. All right, so I gotta be honest. I think I love this. You can see there are a few bubbles throughout. Let's see if I can, just have to kind of figure out what are the best ways to avoid those bubbles on the bottom. But I think it's really cute. It's like super soft. I like it. Let me know what you guys think. If you want me to try making anything else, I'm excited to explore with this. I love, again, that it's non-toxic and it's fast curing, much faster than epoxy resin, which we know can sometimes take up to a day or two. I'm gonna let this sit for a day and just kind of see how it changes. I'm sure it'll harden a bit. It's definitely still a little soft. And then I'll go ahead and sand and just sort of smooth out all of these edges, and maybe that will help with some of these bubbles on the edges as well. Thanks for watching. Check out the caption for links to checking any of these out on my storefront.